back. We had a bit of a technical issue to start the stream with, so we're trying this again. So welcome to episode 26 of the Risen War. In case the title screen didn't give it away, this is the Mice and the Cat's Paw. Episode number 26. Welcome back. Glad you're here. Hope you had a fantastic week. And with any luck, we'll have no more sound issues or other technical problems, and we'll get on with our day. Last time we played, our heroes had an uneventful yet creepy carriage ride to Umbermount.
Wrong vampire country.
We have coffins this time, so already that's a plus.
We can't stop here. This is coffin country.
Get in the coffin. No questions asked.
They spent some time at an inn having a late night snack before being taken by a slightly grumpy vampire up to Castle Harcourt, where they were treated
Politely.
very, very, very grouchy vampire.
You just want to deal with your peasantry shit.
I get it. Once
Relatable.
They were treated like royalty, essentially. Food, clothing, and lodging befitting dignitaries from a foreign land.
Mm-hmm.
And then they met Lord Azeron Harcourt, the master of Umbermount. He learned things about them that he wasn't supposed to know and spoke with them very politely about it. It was agreed that nobody was going to be a liar because liars don't make good negotiators.
Sure
And
don't.
he helps his neighboring countries by not letting bad negotiators out of Umbermount. You know.
Good thing we're not bad negotiators.
That's a good thing you're not dishonest people.
Yeah.
We're not dishonest people. We're not going to look over the wall.
Just head down, behave, all will be well.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Wait a minute.
Well, that doesn't apply here. This is not that country.
All will be adequate.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to say Castle Harcourt instead of the other one?
No.
When muscle memory is still there for that.
Right. Well,
Anyway.
It's fine.
Yeah. Did I miss anything?
Nope.
No, I think that was it.
All right, fantastic. Before we get started, remember that streams like this are sponsored by viewers like you. Simply by being here, you are fulfilling our heart's desire of performing our dungeons and our non-specific, non-copyrighted tabletop RPG game for all of you to enjoy. And welcome to our table.
I'm doing my part.
Don't forget that all of the art here is done by the wonderful artists at this table, and most of them are taking commissions now. The art fight's just about over. So, you know.
Alright, be back to work.
You're on the other side of the call. There you go. There you go. You got it. You got it.
These wonderful artists.
Yes. So, without
Back
further...
to work, man. Ugh.
Back to work. Let me tell you about my work week. Not today. Not now.
Not today.
We're playing tabletop RPG here.
Dungeons,
We're-
and more dungeons.
We're doing escapism by going to the most dangerous place in all of Boulevard.
No, what that is it is alternate methods of processing stress
Yes.
by putting a make-believe character through way more trauma than you'll likely ever experience in your life.
You're open. God willing.
Unless
Look,
going
if
to
you're not confronting your trauma by playing D&D, are you even playing D&D correctly?
I don't know. My character Taylor Swift will differ.
Anyway.
Not what I expected to hear tonight. We're in Umbermount.
Could be worse. Could have been Fediver.
One day.
One day.
Huh.
So you sit at the table. There's sweet tea, water, and wine, and sun tea available to you. Harcourt is drinking something red and a little thicker. His crystal goblet.
Gonna drink our own drinks and not think about that.
He has just told you that he is dying to know more about you. He's looking forward to the opportunity.
He's dying. I think he died a long time ago.
He's died to know more about you.
Us specifically.
Specifically.
I died for you thousands of years ago. I was told to be in a dream.
Now, I do find that negotiations go best when deals are made amongst friends. I hope you'll agree.
Well, of course.
Well,
Makes sense.
Tends to make things more amicable.
I agree wholeheartedly, and I'm quite pleased to say that because we will be having a bit of a get-together, a little bit of a party, if you will, here in a few days. Tomorrow night. And, well, we'll get to know each other quite well. I'll introduce you to my family. We'll have an evening, enjoy each other's company, then we'll see after that how we come about this acquiring this object that you want so desperately. The soul beacon is a very precious thing.
So, we understand.
But I imagine you wouldn't be sent here without something of equal value.
Well, that's what we'll have to discuss after we get to know each other a bit more.
Absolutely.
Party sounds lovely.
I have not thrown a bad party yet. And it has been thousands of years.
Oh, this means you've had more practice than most.
He's just gonna look at you, Boffin, and smile.
Maybe regretting getting his attention so often in these conversations.
It will certainly be an honor to get to witness that for ourselves, sir.
You know, for common soldiers, Grim Knights are very well spoken. If you see Siegfried again, give him my regards.
Of course, sir.
Like that if and fair.
Now, the castle and grounds are open to you. Anywhere that's unsafe will be guarded, and you'll be discouraged. There are only a few areas that are off limits, and those will be clearly taken care of. You're, of course, free to stay in the castle, and I nearly insist that you give me the pleasure of doing so, but if you really must, I will not begrudge you a night or two down in the towns below, Number Valley. The common folk are quaint and in a pleasant sort of way.
Right. Well, we do greatly appreciate the hospitality.
Yes, you are welcome. And Mount has been amazing.
I am so happy to hear that, young lady. Means a lot coming from someone of your background.
He
Doesn't know how to
knows
feel about
everything.
that.
He knows.
Of course, in the meantime, you're welcome to relax, rest as much as you need to from your journeys. It sounds like you've had a bit of a harrowing time from Valerian all the way down to here, and Gatewatch before that.
Certainly.
I hope you don't find me too forward when I mention that I have been watching some of the key players in conflict quite closely.
Oh,
Understandable.
And,
I think it'd be a bit
understandable that
presumptuous
you would, I
for us
suppose.
to say we're key players, but
Well, now, would you happen to be the same group of fine folk who delivered the news to Toldoran?
we did do that, yes.
That was
Mhm.
us.
that was us.
I appreciate the confirmation. He's going to look right at Gale. Though your company's name may be a little bit on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
We're still brainstorming a replacement.
It was a bit of a spur of the moment.
We're not good at well, I'm not good at naming things.
Now,
They
don't
give us the option to not. So.
They didn't.
For a mailman, he was rather insistent.
Sadly, my duties are a full-time job, and I must return to them. Of course, if there's anything that you need, just let any one of the staff know. You will be taken care of, and I do mean there is very little a number amount that we cannot provide.
Quite happy with your
Understood.
hospitality so far. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to meet with us. Thank you for refreshments, and look forward to meeting with you again later.
Indeed, tomorrow night we'll be having a little get-together in the South Ballroom.
Ah,
But by all means, enjoy the gardens. The other ballrooms, conservatory. If I were you, I would find it wisest to stay on the main floors of the castle and not go too high or too low. You're not forbidden from doing so, but you may find something a bit unsettling for a first-time visitor.
understood.
And
Thank you for letting us know.
you won't see too many eternal servants that are unseemly. But if you do see one and it does give you a bit of a fright, don't worry. Don't worry about them being offended if you gasp or look at them sideways. Most of them don't
Grab in
have
your
enough.
spray bottle and just start spraying.
Most of them don't have enough left up here to register that you're upset by it. We try to keep most of those behind the walls, though.
Understood. We'll keep our eyes on this side then.
If you have any complaints or concerns whatsoever, you just get another staff member, and if I have to, I will handle it personally.
Get the manager
course.
involved.
Hopefully won't come to that. Again, we haven't had any issues so far.
We do not take inhospitality lightly here. I hope you'll find.
Understood. We certainly appreciate it,
The
Lord Hogwarts.
hospitality has been amazing so far. I don't doubt that it will continue to be by anyone who we meet.
Please pardon me. I hope that you will forgive my departure. You'll stand and bow to all of you. And then
Gale incline her head to return it and just
there's a gust of wind and Harcourt is gone.
oh, okay. Well,
All right.
Talk about a
dramatic
Exit.
exit. Whew. Well. Oh my goodness, there is so much here to unpack.
I didn't mean to stick my foot in my mouth again, Gail. I just figured it might be best to.
No, I'm not worried about that. It would have come out in the wash sooner or later, and probably best sooner than later.
I figured it might be better if you found it out from us rather than think he was hiding something. Think we were trying to
Especially
hide
since
something.
apparently he's been paying attention. It sounds like he might already know a lot about us.
Certainly.
I know more than we possibly know.
Certainly that. Oh my goodness. Ha. He knows about Siegfried. He knows a lot about Siegfried.
Then
Yeah, it does say
Oh
a
my.
few odd things about that. I don't suppose
I
you have
wonder
any
if
idea of what he
that's-
was referring to.
I wonder if that's why Siegfried didn't want you asking. Didn't want you.
Everything Lord Harcourt said about Siegfried was news to me. And Gail's just gonna kind of sit there, just kind of staring off into nothing for a bit. Changes names every body or two.
Yeah, it's
Oh. Harcourt knows him?
Best not to think too much on it at the moment.
no. I mean, I suppose it's not.
He might be trying to at least throw you for some sort of loop.
Maybe.
Not
If the
saying-
headmistress of the college can be a dragon, perhaps your Siegfried is something else that's been around a while.
I ain't calling him a liar.
Perhaps.
Just
That's true. I
Yeah.
mean, it could
Information
also just
can be leverage.
keeping us on our toes.
Certainly that. When we get out of here, and next time I see Siegfried, I think I'm gonna have to sit down and talk with him.
You think
If I don't give him an earful.
Then again, I mean, I guess if after coming here, I mean, I guess yeah.
if you don't
Hard
change
to that
his name first.
Well,
Sorry, I
Well,
know
it's not
a bit of a
really your
grim
station
joke,
to
but
know, maybe.
no.
I was wondering if this is
Even
Even
part
with
of
this,
that
doesn't mean he's gonna tell you.
secret part of your organization you keep alluding to. Maybe they are ones that know that sort of thing.
After all, as Lord Harcourt noted, and she's gonna do her best to affect his accent. I'm just a baby.
Oh.
That's ooh, wow. I mean,
I wouldn't take that too much to heart. I'm sure we all seem that way to someone like him. I mean, even
Everybody
Wonders
seems
exist
that.
Ed
for
or Soliana,
thousands
so.
of years old.
everybody seems that way to a ancient vampire.
You're not wrong, probably.
On that note, maybe say Lord Harcourt probably won't, but Marius, don't get into staring contests with vampires.
Oh,
I wasn't
Yeah.
staring.
No, that's just an advisement in general.
I just don't. I mean, I'm sure you all felt it, unsettled and
Oh, certainly.
discomforted.
Very. If I could have melted through the floor, I would have.
yeah, nope. This was one of those rare times I did not enjoy being the subject of attention at those points.
Guess the
Oh, it
kind of
does have
attention
a
we're looking
limit.
for. But yeah, a staring contest with a vampire means you are a good target for getting charmed.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, I don't know if. Well, I don't know a whole lot about Harcourt in general, but it's just a general advisement, I guess.
I will refrain from making prolonged eye contact.
For a long time.
Individuals of vampiric nature.
Called it eternal?
Something
I
like
wonder
that.
if the party is what the dresses and measurements were for then.
I imagine
I'd
so.
assume. Looking forward to that. I haven't gotten clothes in a while.
Whatever
His
happens,
family said-
whatever happens at this party, just
Guess everyone's got a
Don't
fan.
give away our leverage.
Vampires.
No.
Might be looking for
No.
information or looking for what
Our-
we got.
Our bargaining chips are to be discussed during negotiations only. I think, though, Edwin, I'll take my cloak clasp back whenever we get the chance. No point in hiding it now.
No, but I mean, you still maybe don't want to just wear it around.
Right.
No.
Again, yeah, and I thought the idea was to not insult any of the other denizens of this place. Yeah, not to hide things from the court itself.
We're not
It's-
hiding things, but perhaps walking around with
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm not
it
gonna walk around
on
with
is
it.
a
I'm not gonna walk around with it. That's just silly.
yeah.
But I can at least, put it with the rest of my things.
Yeah, he'll just dig through his little bag and take it out for her.
Oh, thank you. She'll just kind of hold it in her hand. I'll just put that with the rest of my stuff after this.
Well, at the very least, he does seem as reasonable as the headmaster said.
So far, yeah. As long as we keep on his good side, I think.
And that he's not siding with Morvain is a good thing in my book. So
No.
Certainly.
I say we don't forget what he is, but we just treat him like we're in any other noble's house.
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna get up and walk.
I was actually about to say the same thing. Gail, mind if I join you? But yeah, I think it would be a good
Not
idea
at
to
all.
Gardens
tour the
mentioned-
grounds a bit, get a bit of a lay of the land, because yeah, you never know if that might come in useful knowing where everything is. Especially with so
Exactly.
many different events going on.
Should we all go together?
Probably best to stick together,
I agree.
or at least go in groups.
This is a very big castle, and
I do have to admit I was not entirely happy about going to my room on my own last night, but we're all here. So we stick together as much as we can. Everything's gonna be fine.
Gail's
We're
gonna
definitely
gonna
not
get up.
panicking at all.
Panicking? Who's panicking? I'm not panicking. You're panicking.
Panicking.
But yeah, Gail will get up and just kind of shake the nerves, shake the nerves out, and just kind of oof. Okay. She's a little less nervous now, but there's still a lot to think about.
Well, just don't think about it.
Why don't we get some fresh air and go out to the gardens? He said
Actually,
they
I
were
like that.
extensive.
I like that idea.
Might be a good idea to get the layout of the castle as well, but yeah, the grounds are as good a place to start as any.
Y'all go on ahead. I'm gonna go back to my quarters.
You sure?
By yourself.
Need to make some preparations.
Preparations.
Concern.
Need to
Yeah,
sharpen my boot knife.
I got some wood carving I need to do.
Okay.
Oh.
Buddy.
What are you doing, Mary?
Don't, well, probably keep it recreational.
Always recreational.
Is that something you should do, like, in the house?
I mean, I wouldn't want to make more work for the staff, personally, but
I mean, the ones here probably don't complain very much, but the ones back home certainly did.
well,
Hated it
If
when there
you're-
was just mud on, like, Nobody kicks off their boots before they walk in.
Yeah, that's always a pain when people don't do that. Well, Marius, if you don't want to go for a walk with us, then, up to you. But we'll know where to find you.
Right. Still feel like it could be better if you were with someone, but I think you'll be okay. It's, I guess, your decision.
As much as Harcourt is unsettling and creepy, he's a man of his word. I think as long as
I
we
mean,
don't
it's not just
agitate
worrying
nothing.
about, like, none of us have been really properly on our own since Polderome.
No, certainly haven't. Certainly not since before the war was declared. Well, let's go walking then, shall we?
Yeah.
Right, lead the way.
I guess we'll probably find a staff member to take us to the garden.
All right, you do find a nearby is a butler in a very burgundy tuxedo cut jacket. Martin, at your service. To the gardens, then.
Yes, please.
Thank you.
The shaded garden or the sun garden?
Oh, the sun garden, I guess?
Of course. You will bow and walk with very precise steps. A left, then a right. Go past several corridors. A left again, then a right again, and then he will open a door for you and stand in its shadow. As it opens onto a fairly significant courtyard. There is you can see from the doorway, you can see hedgerows and statues, and you can see topiaries on top of the hedgerows of, rabbit. There's a rabbit. You can see an owl. You can see a person all carved into the shrubberies. Various bushes. You got rose bushes and lots of high sun flowers and whatnot. And as the door opens, it's almost like a beam of light is coming down from the clouds just onto that garden.
Oh.
Okay.
I see.
Please forgive me if I don't join you in the garden.
No, understood.
Sunlight
Thank you.
is terrible for my complexion.
Yes, thank you,
Understandable.
Martin.
If you see any of the groundskeepers, they are no danger to you, but we ask that you do not disturb them.
Understood. We will mind our own business then.
Very good.
Gonna go out into the garden and just. Gail's just gonna kind of just stand in the sunlight for a minute, just kind of letting her shoulders just relax, just. Blah.
Feel better?
About as better as one can, I suppose.
Oh, that's something then.
It is pleasantly cool sunlight. The plants are luscious and very well tended. The soil on the side of Umbra, you wouldn't think that rocky soil would produce large plants, but you have various varieties of flowers with very beautiful blooms. They're not even particularly in season. There are some fruit trees that you can see over the top of the hedgerows with large fruit hanging down from the branches, and you can hear from somewhere in the hedgerows the sound of running water. But it does appear to be a maze before you, with the outside completely accessible all the way around, with several doors going back into the castle, several windows looking out onto the sun garden, and it looks like there is an entrance to the hedge maze in front.
Oh.
I did
You
say I
know-
want to go exploring, but I'm not sure. I intended to get lost in something like that.
Mazes are easy.
Is that so?
I mean, if you can learn to walk a labyrinth of a castle, you can probably learn to walk a hedge maze pretty good. I'm not inclined to get lost in a maze right now,
Nope. Me neither.
but I'm very impressed by the by all the flora here. My goodness.
Yeah, this place certainly is full of surprises.
I think some of the halflings back out in Bulgaria might get a little envious of some of these things.
Fine, maybe he's gotten some of her help in growing some of this. Well, still comforting to know that find a spot of light, even somewhere like this.
Mm-hmm.
As you're looking at the plants, you start to hear a metallic shink sound over and over, with the sound of some rattling chains.
Caretakers, I presume.
I'm going to assume so.
And all of you in the garden make a perception roll.
Okay.
Oh boy. What we're gonna see that we maybe don't wanna.
Green flowers.
Right? Probably for the best.
You like the flowers.
Oh no.
If you like the
Sully.
flowers and
No,
you're
Sully.
interested in the cloud magic.
Sully and Boffin
Oh,
can-
okay.
hear from the right. Sounds like it's coming from inside the hedge maze. A few footsteps, some rattling, and a shink. And slowly you notice every time there's a shink, there's a slight rustle to the leaves, and they're getting closer to you.
Oh, they're coming this way.
Oh, okay.
We
What?
move our tour a lot.
I'm?
And
Not
Sully
so
will
want to
point
see
to the
these
rest of them.
caretakers, but sometimes it's better to not know how the sausage is made.
Certainly.
I'm
I'm
paranoid.
morbidly curious.
That's coming from me.
Well, if you all feel like not seeing what's coming out of the maze, that's fine. I will follow for once.
Right, where to next? To Shade Garden? Back inside. Suppose might as well
We're
see
just-
the Evergarden while we're on our outdoors kick. Compare the two. You wonder what that means. I feel like most plants I know do need some amount of sun.
Mushrooms don't.
What don't?
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms.
Those aren't rightly plants, though, are they?
I mean,
Yes.
Yeah!
mushrooms are mushrooms.
It's like stares at Soliana.
Soliana's looking at Boston like, yeah, mushrooms are plants. Why wouldn't they be plants?
That's funny.
New. Hey, chat. Are mushrooms?
No, you
plants?
ever-
Answer below.
Oh
The new is the taco is the taco a sandwich or whatever.
no.
So Leanna, have you ever seen a mushroom fruit or a mushroom seed?
Okay.
Mushrooms have spores.
Well. That being what it is, I guess.
I suppose if we're curious, we could go see it.
Yeah, well, to the shade garden.
Soliana's a little curious about the groundskeeper, though. She's going to glance back, see if she can
I
get
mean, we still might see one at the other place.
Liliana, as you
Mhm.
glance back, as everybody's going inside, you see a figure that is hunched over low. Its skin is sallow gray, wearing an apron, and a chain around its body, into which are several different gardening implements. It's carrying a large pair of shears, large enough to lop somebody's head off. And it takes a moment, looks at a leaf, snips the leaf off, slowly turns its yellow eyes to you, jaundiced yellow eyes, and tilts its head sideways and stands up about 7 feet tall total.
Oh.
And you can see staples and stitches where the different parts of it were put together. Before it leans back down and snips off another leaf.
Alrighty then, we're just gonna go back. We don't need to look at. Maybe we don't need
Sully?
to. See
Gail's just gonna kind of look at Sully on it. You looked behind the curtain, didn't you?
They're a bit unsettling, yes.
What'd you see?
They look stitched together.
Oh, fun. Build your own groundskeepers, I suppose. No? Okay.
And does that practice sound familiar? It's like, huh.
Right, so, to the Shade Garden. This time a maid takes you to the Shade Gardens. Masters, I do recommend that you keep your hands away from anything that looks like it might have teeth. Most of the vegetation in this garden does not live on sunlight.
Understood.
That makes sense. Okay.
They have alternate methods of acquiring nutrients.
Oh, maybe like
I see.
Did Edwin tell us about the weird flower that?
No, but I mean that's
no,
certainly
okay.
not his. Well, I mean he might have, but it's like it's like you have
mentioned
flowers
something.
like roses here that look like they're breathing.
We have many different kinds of flowers.
So maybe.
If you're speaking of the vampire rose, it is in the center of the garden.
Take home some samples for your
Oh.
professor.
They should be freshly fed. Be fine, but I wouldn't recommend touching them. Mind your fingers and toes.
Oh,
Gail's just gonna put her hands in her pockets.
no. This is also one time where I'm starting to understand why shoes might be nice sometimes.
You might not let your hair hang too loosely either.
Gail's just gonna look over at Soliana.
Soliana grabbing her ponytail and wrapping it up into a big bun with another ribbon.
As you guys are heading to the Shade Garden,
Gonna braid it.
Marius, you've headed back up to your room.
Yep.
A maid who is a head and a half shorter than you takes you to your room. And as she does, she narrates the turns to take to get there. Is there anything that you require?
Full lies, some cheese and crackers might be nice.
Of course. Right away. Anything else while I'm ending?
That'll be it.
Going to curtsy and scamper away. No less than 5 minutes later, there's a knock at your door. And a tray of various types of crackers. Wheat crackers, standard white flour crackers,
Ooh.
salted, unsalted,
Ooh, yeah.
are wheeled in with like 5 or 6 different kinds of cheese. Some of them are Bulgarian. There's a couple of Axian cheeses that you recognize. There's a Valeran cheese, an Abdegard goat cheese.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Kindly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
She'll leave the entire cart in there.
Save some for Boffin.
Hell yeah.
There is a sensible pairing of wine with it, and a pitcher of iced water and several glasses to drink from.
Ice water. I'm pretty thirsty. We're gonna enjoy some more of that ice water. But yeah, he's spending some time. That wood he got from the that wood shop guy.
Yes.
He's carving it into steaks in his free time. It's not for offensive purposes. It is purely back.
That's still rude.
Still making steaks in a vampire's home.
Yeah. What are you gonna do if they see you doing that?
Are they really gonna care? At this point, the little ones might.
You walk into a dude's house, you start carving his name on the side of bullets.
Yeah.
Well, if that
Defensive
dude is like over 2,000 years old and a very well-renowned vampire
I
lord
mean, fair enough.
with a semi-large cabal of other undead and possibly other vampires around him.
Anyone bites me and I'm gonna gank them.
Yeah.
Someone's having steak tonight, and it's not a dinner.
That was dessert.
No, but he's
Just desserts.
he's just trying to have all options available right now. That's all he's doing, and enjoying the cheese.
The cheese is of utmost quality. Like there may be some cheeses whose flavor you don't enjoy as much, but the quality of the cheese is undeniable.
Mm-hmm. I want cheese.
I would almost kill for some mozzarella and crackers right now, and some pepperonis.
Mozzarella.
It better be salted crackers. Unsalted saltines are just. What's the point?
That's just mozza crackers.
Oh, you know what sounds really good right now?
Mm.
A caprese salad.
Oh, how
Ooh.
dare you! Supposed to be running a game with fresh, like proper tomatoes
Mm-hmm.
out of the home garden,
A very drizzly balsamic vinaigrette. Just.
salted and peppered.
Mhm.
Well.
And this segment is brought to you by Foodies.
Oh man, see, I'm not normally on the receiving side of this, so I gotta readjust myself here.
Yeah, now you know how I feel all the time. I'm just good at hiding it. Not really.
Come for the game, stay for the food.
Yes.
That's why we really need to get all together in person so that we can actually have the delicious food instead of just hearing about it.
I will cook a whole spread.
Oh my goodness.
In the Shadow Garden. The grass is lush and green, but it's a dark green that you're not familiar with. The paths are all cobbled. There is no maze here, but there is a dark fountain at the center of this garden. You're not quite close enough to see it. It's dim light here. There are lots of plants that, rather than being bright and stretching, they look twisted and knotty and thorny. As you enter the garden itself, one of them is made, you can see very plainly a basketball-sized plant bloom. Looks like a flower bloom at first, but upon closer inspection is 4 lobes that are similar to a Venus flytrap, with large pointed fingers waiting for something to enter. There's a honey-like smell coming from it.
Look, don't touch. Look, don't touch.
Nope, don't touch that.
One of them.
That thing has bigger teeth than some of the werewolves back home.
Werewolves?
Edwin is fascinated.
There's
So
a
is
plant,
Ollie.
there's a plant nearby that looks like an aloe vera plant, but instead is red with a blue spine coming up it, and the little points are long and sharp and white. There are ground cover flowers that are pale and look almost sickly. Large mushrooms that are bigger than your torso.
See, plants.
One of
Because
these
we're in a
mush-
garden doesn't mean they're plants.
One mushroom, there's a mushroom-like plant just off the path that looks like it has a small fairy-like creature stuck to it.
Okay.
Oh,
It looks like it's this fairy girl looks like she's writhing and trying to get off of it.
Okay.
Roll a perception for me, please.
Terrifying.
So
Gail sees nothing.
everybody but Edwin, you honestly, this is disturbing, and you're almost compelled to try to help. Edwin, in your fascination, you look, and the creature, the fairy trapped on top of this apparently sticky mushroom, is an outgrowth from the mushroom itself, being moved by little hairs. Upon closer inspection, there are lines of teeth underneath the mushroom's cap.
Oh, that's fascinating.
What?
Edwin?
Oh, no, don't touch it. It's fine.
Is that
What?
That doesn't look very fine, Edwin.
It's not a real one.
Oh.
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 Oh, okay.
Fingers.
That is fascinating attraction.
That is weird.
It's a good way to. Well, good way to attract folks, I suppose.
Good way to lose a hand.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, like some of these, I wouldn't be surprised if you touch them and they just kind of like explode into weird mind-altering spores. But
Okay.
That is what mushrooms tend to do. Just in general.
You hear it coughing,
yeah, like that.
and a kind of a sallow-looking high elf is watching you from nearby.
Oh.
Oh. Does he look you said sallow, but he looks like normal? Like that's a person?
It's a person. He's got shadows under his eyes and he's leaning on a cane. He's wiping a bit of blood from his mouth.
Are
I shouldn't touch that if I were you.
No, we were told to keep our hands to ourselves. Are you okay, sir?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm well, thank you. He does
Okay.
not look well.
Okay. If you're certain?
Are you you
Gail's just kind of getting a look at this guy.
sorry, you don't look like a groundskeeper.
Oh, no, I am an honored guest.
Oh. You're a guest too. Well,
Rorik
pleasure
is my name. It's a pleasure to be.
pleasure to make your acquaintance, Rorik. I'm Gail, and these are, well, most of our group.
Pleasure to meet you. Sympathy Bane.
Sympathy Bane.
Oh.
Appropriate.
Oh, the mushroom.
Yes, if you see somebody eaten by it, you'll never feel sympathetic again.
Oof.
Appropriate.
Oh,
Very
According
appropriate.
to the castle library, it releases spores when it bites and reinforces the desire to save the creature that appears to be trapped inside of it, so that you don't fight back. You fight to get into it rather than away from it.
Ah. Wonderful. I don't like that. I'm glad we don't have anything like that back home.
Fascinating.
Yes.
are you familiar with much of the things in this garden?
I have been here for a good while. Yes, so I am familiar with much of it.
Been here for. What brought you to Umbermount?
Seeking to court one of Lord Harcourt's daughters.
Oh,
Oh,
I see. Seeking.
Well, I hope that's going well for you.
He smiles and nods. Lord Harcourt is a most gracious host.
So we've been shown so far.
And his daughters are quite lovely.
We haven't had the chance to meet them yet, but
No.
supposedly tomorrow night
This-
we are
whi-
going to meet his family.
Which one are you courting?
Liliana Harcourt.
Okay.
So you're the reason for the celebration.
Apparently.
Suppose we are.
I wanna.
How exciting.
Will we be seeing you there?
For as long as my constitution allows.
Right.
You make an insight.
Go ahead. Sorry,
It's weird to
Lucille,
see a
not
high elf that's like, oh
Lucille,
well,
not
no.
Lucilla.
Leona's like, oh man, that's a nasty cough, dude.
Yeah.
Damage. Get that cold checked out.
Sorry, if I said Ileana, I meant to say Lucille.
Okay.
Okay.
You said Liliana.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
I assumed wires got crossed.
very, very crossed.
Yeah.
Lucy.
It happens.
Lucille.
I mean, you could have told us any name. I'm like, we haven't been introduced to anybody yet, so.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're okay?
I am being well taken care of by the physicians in Umber.
Oh,
Good point, yeah.
say,
That is
I hope they're. If this is how it sounds now, I can't imagine what it would sound like, what it would be like without their care, then, sir.
Indeed. Will you be here for the dawn feast?
We're not sure, but Lord
Sounded
Harcourt
like
has.
Harcourt expects us to be there.
He certainly expressed his wish for us to be here.
It's quite the celebration afterward.
Yeah, that's the part that apparently we'll be invited to.
Oh, so you've been to one before, I guess.
The dawn feast happens across Umbermount. I've been here long enough to see several.
Oh, several.
Seeing as it's our first
How-
time, I guess, what can we
Just-
expect?
How often does that happen then?
About you.
Is it every? It's yearly. Okay.
It's for you and for everybody else in Umbermount. It's a day of rest and excuse me, and feasting.
Okay. Get behind that.
For the hunters, it's a day of hunting.
Of course.
And it seems as though there is great care in selecting a fox.
Indeed. This year's
Wow.
fox seems particularly white.
Oh. I suppose that's all the more. I'm sure it makes for great entertainment for the hunters, I guess. Gale is floundering here. She
Right.
is. She
I did not need
sure
to,
how
need to keep
How
talking.
the fuck do we talk
Change
to these
subject, change
people?
subject.
You don't talk about the
No,
things you don't
right.
want to know about.
No.
Quit
Great
asking,
care.
Bobby.
Great care indeed. Every time I've seen it, it's been a young woman, fit and ready for a life outside of Umbermount or die trying.
I see. Well. Haha.
Well, if we do stay, I hope that it is entertaining for you as well. I hope that we all have a good time. If we stay.
Lord Harcourt will make sure.
I have no doubt.
I hope to see you at the ball tomorrow night.
Look forward to
You
it.
as
We
well.
will definitely be there.
Proper gala, from what I understand.
Haven't been to anything like that. But I believe our presence will be required there. So perhaps we will see you. Especially if we're meeting Harcourt's family.
I look forward to it. Pardon me.
Of course.
Okay.
Take care.
You as well. Everything here will try to eat you, so
Yeah, we're gonna just keep our hands to ourselves here.
don't fall asleep under the tree.
Noted. Gail's gonna look up.
Jeez, right?
There are a couple of trees in the garden that look just a little bit wrong, and as you look up, there are thorny vines hanging straight down from them.
Oh,
And there's
No.
one that has half of a human skeleton in it, wrapped up in vines. still.
okay.
Don't
Ah.
do that.
Alright, well, I think, yeah, we have more
Well.
castle to see.
Well, talk about a sticky situation. Goodness.
Take one of his dogs.
From somewhere up high. How dare you?
I know what I
Let
did.
me get eaten by trees in peace. I don't need your shitty puns.
court manifests just to say no puns in the castle and then disappears again.
Smack you in the back of the head. Now you stop that.
Not have any of that Grim Knight humor here.
You exploring the rest of the garden?
I don't know.
Maybe carefully.
About all these like
Yeah,
man-eating plants.
The
Alternatively, he heard the word library, so I mean, like convincing him
Yeah.
otherwise wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, well, like we said, yeah, and we can just walk through the garden briskly and then back to the castle on top of things. Yeah, sure. Library. Library sounds great. Library sounds like it does have things that try to eat you.
How about we go anywhere else?
Right.
Okay, so we're not exploring the rest of the garden.
Oh, I mean.
Are we going to want to see the vampire flower, the vampire rose, or whatever it was? Edwin?
I mean,
Yeah,
I don't
let's satisfy Edwin's curiosity, but again, like this, yeah. Walk quickly, don't touch anything. We'll be fine.
I mean, it's more that like these things are supposedly popping up around Greymore.
Actually,
Oh, wait.
you're
Well,
right. What?
Greymore, but I think they said somewhere along the lines of between there and Valerian.
Wait, what?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that
hey,
might be good
why
for
don't we
enough
go
conversation.
have a look at that so that we know what to look for?
Right.
And so as you approach the center of the garden, you see a fountain with dark liquid that's probably water bubbling around, and lily pads on the water surface. You see a mouse kind of scampering along the edge of the fountain. Hops onto one lily pad and then the second. And as it moves to the third lily pad, the leaves fold up as a proboscis shoots into it from underneath. And it grabs it, and as you can hear it squeaking until it's pulled under the water.
Gruesome.
Right.
Circle of life, I guess. And death. As Gail's just kind of... She's just kind of... watching that and just...
Make your perception check for me.
She hasn't been rolling good on those tonight, but...
Everybody or just Gale?
Anybody
Gale.
who's looking at the water.
Oh.
I guess.
Goodness, you guys.
No, you guys are paying attention.
Edwin. You
Yeah,
can't-
Edward's doing great on me.
Edwin is doing great.
You can't help but notice that these lily pads, there are 8 of them, and they are spaced very specifically, and they do not move. Except for the one that's missing.
Oh,
Leaning a little bit closer, it almost feels like you're being watched.
as much as he wants to cast light, he doesn't want to disturb the flowers. They probably don't like it. Well, respect the weird flowers.
But around the other side of the fountain, you do see a crop of bright red roses sticking out of a humanoid figure that is slumped forward. The figure is wearing tattered shorts and nothing else. It is a man with manacles on his arms, slumped forward with a sign tied around his neck.
What do the signs say?
Getting closer, the flowers don't initially seem to respond to your presence, and the petals are all bright red. The sign says petty theft.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, they did say like no crime around here, so
Yeah,
that
no,
makes sense.
takes it
With-
very seriously. All right.
With, Yep. That's how you nip it in the bud, all right.
I get it. 'cause
Definitely
The bud's nipping
gonna-
on him now.
Definitely gonna keep my hands to myself even outside the garden. Yeah.
I swear I am not doing these on purpose. I'm not actually planning these puns out. They're just coming out.
Sure, you
Or-
aren't.
You
All right.
looking around, one of the stem petals on one of the flowers begins to flap almost like wings, and it settles back down.
Oh. Okay.
Interesting. I mean, I guess he'll look it over and see if it's anything like the one he saw in the professor's lab.
It is very much like the one in the professor's lab, and so with a rose, normally the barbs face down or point straight out. With these, all of the thorns that you can see are pointing back like a snake's teeth, so as to prevent it from being pulled out.
Ooh.
Also, there's lots of little tiny holes all over the stems, ostensibly used for consuming its food.
Well, yeah.
Oh.
Don't know much about it other than that it eats blood.
And those are popping up around back home?
Supposedly. I doubt the professor got it from here.
Oh, okay. I don't like that.
No, that does not seem ideal.
I wonder if they figured out how to deal with it yet.
I don't know if they've noticed. I mean, he didn't know what it was. He was wondering if it was a plant or an animal.
Oh. Well. Okay. That's something else for me to ask Siegfried when we get back. Hey, hi, Commander. Have you ever heard of these vampire roses? How do we get rid of them where we don't want them to be?
Well,
I mean, obviously they belong here, but
that Rorik fellow was saying that he was reading about a lot of the plants in the library here. Maybe you can learn more there, Edwin?
Probably.
I'm fine with going to the library. I don't.
Library sounds normal.
I'm not too. I don't know about this whole vampire rose thing. Well, anyway.
Yeah, I'll just figure out their organization system quick enough and I could probably find their body section.
If anybody can, you can.
Absolutely.
I've been to many libraries.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine otherwise. Well, shall we?
Yep.
You guys head into the library?
Yeah.
You will be shown to the public library castle, not the personal library of Harcourt and his family.
Of course not.
Oh, they get all the fancy books. Darn restrictions.
The library is a large space, warm and inviting, with a fireplace. There are several varieties of mundane tea in tins next to a kettle and some fresh water. And the desks are all comfortable, very well appointed, well lit. And Edwin, looking at it, there are hundreds, if not 1,000 plus tomes in here on all sorts of subjects, from strange flora and fauna of Umbermount to accounting, the wars of the last 1,000 years, notable wizards and how they died.
Wonderful. He will go browsing immediately.
Well, I suppose we know where Edwin's going to be if we
Yep.
ever need to find him.
Certainly.
He is already gone.
There he goes.
Oh boy.
Yep. In his element.
It's good to see. It's good to see someone who has their muse.
It is. I'm. I wonder if there's any. I wonder if there's any books here on like Greymore or those weird flowers, or just to see if.
Presumably, if that's what Ed was going to look for, but I wouldn't blame if he got sidetracked.
I am
You went in for
quite sure
botany
he'll
first.
be
He'll go
getting-
look for botany first.
I would be interested to see if he kept books on, well, the Grim Knights, but oh goodness. I don't know. She's just gonna find a chair and just kind of slump into it.
Right.
Could at least have a spot of tea while we're here.
Might
We'll
as
start
well.
making a cup for himself, at least.
All right. Edwin, is there any particular topic that you're looking up?
Well, I mean, they said like book like the roses, and then I mean he'll kind of grab whatever else seems interesting.
Okay. I mean, the topics are many.
Mm-hmm. Botany book, grab like a botany book or two, and then just grab a bunch of magic books.
The botany book, it takes you a little while, half an hour or so, to find an entry for the vampire rose. And it is exactly as it sounds. It lives dormant until it very slowly consumes the nutrients that it absorbs from its prey. Then once its petals begin to pale, anything new that approaches, they will expend most of their energy to fly up and strike it repeatedly, embed themselves into it, and drain it of all of its blood. Slowly. It can... The paralytic agent will stop something from moving, but it can live for quite a while under those circumstances. There is a footnote that it has been used for quite some time in Umbermount as a form of execution for criminals when their blood is not fit for consumption by higher beings.
Higher beings. Well,
He'll write those notes down for later.
Right, and
Well,
then
I mean, there you go.
for the magic topic, roll 1d100 for me, please.
Okay.
All right, 57. The topic that you end up landing on and kind of sucks you in is the control of memory. There are several treatises on managing soldiers who have seen horrible things, or apprentices who don't want to perform the same horrific actions over and over again. When the apprentices become unruly, you can just wipe their memory. The chances of natural recovery are almost zero. Though there is an increased risk of mental damage the more you muck in somebody's memories.
Certainly the kind of stuff his mentor was fond of. So,
There are a lot of books on more dangerous magic. Nothing on divine
makes
magic, though.
sense. Huh?
Nothing on divine magic, though.
Oh, funny. Can't imagine why.
It's just not something Harcourt ever picked up, really. You know. So,
Not a strong interest of his.
uh,
Not at all. And I guess the others of us are having a cup of tea.
The tea is honestly delicious. And does not come with any sort of a unicorn, which often you haven't heard from Dragoncorn lately.
Oh, I mean, it sounded like he did know where we were going. He'd already suggested to him that he might want to stay in, but it sounds like maybe he already had the same idea. Unless he has other business to attend here, but let's not think about that.
Perfectly safe.
Right. Look, the less we know, like the less we have to answer to Harcourt about why there's a Fey Dragacorn mucking around in his castle.
What the
get
heck
out of
is
the
this?
room. So sorry. Cannot take him anywhere. Dragoncorn, swear to God.
That being said, he's actually. It would have actually been reassuring if he was around, because, I mean, well, Harcourt did say he would provide anything we need. I mean, you never know if we do need something not provided by Harcourt, but it's fine. We don't need him now, and yeah.
Huh. Maybe such things just maybe such beings as these two don't get along or something. I don't know. I don't know. It's all weird to me. Edwin's probably having fun though.
That's good at least. Yeah, we're supposed to be here, relax, and enjoy the amenities. That's what we're doing.
Although I can't make my brain shut up though. Just
Anything in particular?
oh, just I'm not sure about the whole family resemblance line that he said.
He said a lot of things that, like, just went over my head.
He said he saw the resemblance.
I mean, again, he's been
But the
around a while.
resemblance
Maybe
to
he's
who?
met other people. I mean, for one thing, I mean, everyone seems to know Mary's grandma. But I mean, he could have met other
Apparently.
Falks. I mean, maybe he's met other
Fox have been
Barrows.
around a while.
Alright. Yeah. Maybe Barrows. I mean, maybe your family's still again. Like, it could be. He could literally know any of our ancestors.
That is true.
That being said, I don't know why he'd have reason to. I mean, it must being a Grim Knight ran into your family. This one tried to go after him at some point.
No, not that I know of. I mean, several generations ago, Grandma said falconers, but I mean, hence falk. So.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah, do you ever do any falconry yourself? Keep up the family tradition?
Oh, no. No, that...
Or is that
really
fallen
a
out of
reason
style
to.
for a while ago?
Not really a reason to. I mean, with, bow hunting and just... and not really needing to hunt so much.
Still just have one as a pet or something?
Gail's just gonna shrug. I wouldn't know. I guess
I guess does
she's
that
gonna
explain
she's
your
gonna kind of count back.
family pendant? That pendant you wore around your neck, is that related to that too?
I'm not sure. It's just something that every folk girl has received on her 18th birthday.
Oh, a lovely tradition.
I don't know. I don't know the root of it, but it's a thing.
I mean, again, a bird of some sort, and then saying
Mhm.
falcon, saying
It's a falcon
makes
rising.
sense, right? Yeah, there you go. I assume it's related to that.
I would guess so. Thinking about it.
Just the girls, though, huh?
Yeah, I'm not sure why. Because, normally family names follow the men. But,
Hmm.
Oh, is that
no?
not the case in your family?
I mean, yeah, the name follows the men, but just this?
How about the
She
pendants?
just kind of holds the pendant. Just us girls.
Hmm.
A couple of my cousins, same thing.
Hmm. Maybe we can ask your grandmother about it when we get back to.
Oh,
Perhaps.
I guess
Although the
still been meaning
temptation.
to meet that formidable woman. Kept you sneaking around.
Hmm?
Since you said she was able to, you were never able to get one past her.
I never was. Something about being a full wood elf or something.
Hmm.
But, yeah, honestly, it's actually kind of tempting to ask Harcourt what he meant.
You might answer.
There's a couple of secrets in our family history.
I mean, I think that's true of any family.
Well, yes, this one was there was a rumor that something happened to one of them, and there were undead rumors.
Uh,
That's why I became a Grim Knight, to kind of deal with that.
Makes sense.
But, I don't know if it's the wisest to ask.
I mean,
I
he's the
wouldn't
one that
want-
mentioned it, so.
I wouldn't ask a question that you don't want the answer to. That whether you're ready to hear it or not.
That's the thing, Sully. I don't know if I am or if I'm not.
Well, yeah,
No.
if you don't know the answer, like, how do you know if you're ready to hear it or not?
Just follow your gut, I suppose.
I'll just have to see, I guess.
All right. Well, Edwin's going to be here for ages. There were baths mentioned. I'm going to go take a bath and then turn in like Marius.
I'll probably do the same before too long. I think I'm just going to enjoy it here, though. It's kind of quiet.
Yeah.
So, Liana, the baths are extremely well appointed, with attendants to help with hair and anything else that you require assistance with.
I think she will indulge herself and let them. She hasn't I feel like she hasn't been able to properly wash her entire hair for a while. That's a lot of hair. It takes a while to dry. So yeah, attendance. Listen,
Sure.
she doesn't get to have the noble treatment very often, and she secretly likes it. Don't tell anyone.
Your hair is washed. You're very well tended to.
I see why this place is so dangerous. You could get used to this.
For your comfort, there are only living attendants.
Oh, good. How thoughtful. The fact that non-livings were an option. Yeah, she's going to dry off, and once she she'll probably let her hair air dry and stuff, and once she is good to go, she'll put on something comfortable and then just go back to their room. She'll probably knock on Marius's door just to. Marius, you still alive in there?
As he's like chewing cheese. Mm-hmm.
What did you get? Did you get cheese? Is that cheese and crackers and wine?
Cheese and crackers and a little bit of wine here.
Is that Axian cheese? She goes in. He's gonna walk
I
in
don't know.
and
It's
himself.
good cheese. They got the wheat. They got the
This is
grams.
Abdegard. This is the Abdegard goat cheese.
They got multi-grain crackers. They got salted crackers and salted crackers.
Apparently, this goat cheese is a delicacy and very hard, sometimes hard to get because the goats don't like to be milked.
Well, about 10 minutes ago, there was another half of it, so.
Soliana's gonna reach over and just take the rest.
This is your mine now.
Go for it. I do not blame you.
What's everybody else doing?
Reading.
Edwin's reading.
What's everybody else but Edwin doing?
Sharing cheese.
I guess it
Gail
depends on
said
what
she wanted
time
to
it
stick
is.
around a bit more, so like, I mean, Boffin's gonna stay there as long as she is at least, and then I don't know, possibly stay to her just if Edwin hasn't left yet either.
I mean, it depends on what time of day it's starting to be.
I mean, the day is dragging on.
I think it was already kind of late afternoon, evening by the time we had the audience with Harcourt, so.
Of course, the time works funny in Umbermount, considering that half the population's only awake at night. Generally speaking.
Feeling ready for the fancy evening tomorrow yet, Gail?
Ready? No. But gonna have to be. Are you?
Oh yes, no, I'm excited. It's been a while since I've gotten to do something fancy like that.
Well, you can imagine we don't do it. We don't have such a quite. It's going to be a lot more upscale than what parties we used to throw.
Oh no, for sure. I mean, again, like parties at the Barrow household were certainly a lively but not very refined affair. But again, I mean, I had ambitions otherwise, as foolish as they may have been.
It's fair. It's fair enough. Honestly, the last, sort of gathering like that anything close was when I was knighted.
Oh, there you go. I was going to say, yeah, I guess surely to have formal events in the night sometimes.
I was told it was a bit hurried, but
Yeah, dude. What do you wear to something like that? Do you get any sort of one of them dress uniforms or some fancy armor?
Well, if it's any indication, I got this armor.
Oh, all right.
I got this armor at that, so. Hasn't been that long, all considered.
Right. How long have you been with the Knights? I guess I keep thinking that's how we know you. So it just feels like you must have been in it forever. But obviously you've alluded to your life beforehand.
It's only been about 5 years.
Oh, okay. Not much longer than when I was with the guard. Then.
How long were you with the guard?
It's a great question. I mean, long enough to get to know my fellow guard members for what that was worth.
She's just gonna kind of grimace. Yeah. No.
Just been starting to get comfortable. Maybe a bit too comfortable, as it turns out.
And then...
And you don't really expect something to actually happen.
Certainly not in peaceful times as we knew before.
No, but I mean, again, this is like why I just get annoyed at everyone giving your order shit. I mean, like, that you need someone like the Grim Knights to like keep an eye out for trouble even when there is none.
That's what we're supposed to do. Of course, a lot of us are so loud about it that, well, you've seen.
I mean, I've heard. I'm not sure I've seen any false alarms raised.
Well, you've seen what our reputation is.
Well, yes, no, I've seen the reactions. Honestly, again, I'm surprised I didn't try to join your order instead. That might have been a bit easier than securing a Royal Guard post. It might have been a bit better suited to it. I mean, you said you were interested in it because of your family's... yeah, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I guess... But still, I mean, my family has had a history with dealing with undead too, or at least so the stories go. I mean, there haven't been any, ghouls in the barrow for, the last couple generations at least, but, always the old ones, bring out the stories to scare us, to keep us out of certain parts of it anyways.
Oh, of course.
All the good stuff, but...
Of course. I mean, if it's anything like the stories about the Marshmen and the Marsh Lights...
Right. I mean, like you were saying about your family name, I mean, Falcons, that makes sense. I mean, Barrow, like, the legends go, like, supposedly the hill literally was a barrow back in the day, and then settled by some adventurous ancestors of mine. She's all like, hey, it's free real estate.
She's just gonna kind of just furrow her brow, and she's grinning, but she's just like, that is unusual for halflings, isn't it?
Is it? I mean, a hill's a hill. I mean, some of us are known to
the barrow is a burial ground, isn't it?
Yes. But again, so I mean, but putting on den down is like never a bad thing, is it?
No, but you all give me a time for my gallows humor.
Oh, and perhaps that's why I am taken to it a little bit.
She's just gonna kind of just pat him on the shoulder.
Right. And if you wanted to hear one, I actually a little ashamed that it popped to mind. Didn't quite blurt it out the way you do sometimes. But after meeting that Rourke fellow, it's just like, oh, so some people are dying to get out of here, and some people are dying to get in, apparently.
She's just gonna kind of turn and give him a look like, oh, you.
Right. Shrug.
Oh. Probably a good thing you did.
I figured you'd appreciate it, at least.
Of course. Hey, Edwin!
Yeah?
Ready to turn in? We got a big day tomorrow.
About ready to head back off to quarters?
I guess.
I mean, just checking with you.
Sure, I can find the way back easy enough.
I'm sure you can. Just letting you know that we're headed that way.
Yeah, probably for the best. Thanks for sticking around, Gail. Again, it's not just hardcore. It's just after everything with the changelings. Don't really want to be alone, but
yeah, I don't. No, Faye is absolutely outside of my territory, and will be.
Yeah, undead's a large enough thing to have to worry about by itself.
The idea of something being able to wear your face while... Ha!
No, that's why I feel anxious whenever any of you go on your own, because, might come back and might not be you.
Might not be you. Terrifying.
Right.
I mean, that means one thing with undead, but with something that can imitate you? That's entirely different. But
But
yeah,
yeah,
Gale
just wanted
will.
to let you know what was going through my head.
Fair enough.
That's fine. Our rooms are all close enough. I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, and with that, Gale will turn in because
All right.
she'll prepare for bed and turn in, and she's got a lot to think about.
Right.
Anything else anybody's doing on this day?
No, we can just have a bath in our room and then turn in.
Soliana and Marius have probably broken open the wine.
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, does Boffin smell the cheese on the way back,
Oh,
bro? Is
boy.
he gonna crash the cheese part? Is there even any cheese left?
Make a perception check for me,
Oh,
Buffy.
jeez.
Oh no.
Watch this be an amazing roll.
Eh,
No, alright, now we're too tired. Bath and bed.
Each of you does have a meal delivered to your room. Proper dinner. Potatoes and beef. Choice, tender cut of beef. Perfectly cooked. With a well-paired wine and beer option. But the night passes, unless you guys want to, unless Marius and Soliana, you guys want to.
I mean,
There's anything you
they're
guys are
just-
talking about.
I'm picturing an impromptu dance lesson where Soliana keeps stepping
That's a
on
good
Marius'
idea.
toes because she's used to a shorter dance partner.
Yeah, no, teach
I'm
them and
used
some
to
proper
a shorter
dancing
dance
before the
partner with a shorter stride, so this is helpful for both of us. Sorry.
Trust me, I've had worse things go through my foot.
Go through his foot.
Oh, dear.
Awful.
Lord.
Uh,
But yeah,
the one time I stepped on a rusty nail.
oof. After a while,
Lockjaw!
she'll take the rest of the cheese and what's left of her wine and go back to her room.
Just take the rest of the cheese.
the next morning, you are fed on awakening. Then, as the day has begun to continue, before long, each of you receives a knock on your door. Same attendants that measured you yesterday. Each one enters your rooms. Each of you are asked to undress to your underclothes, and you are fitted, and your formal wear is adjusted for. The clothes are of very fine make and fit nearly perfectly immediately, and after brief in-room alterations, do fit perfectly. Comfortable, elegant, not too risque, but, complimenting forms rather than embarrassing them.
Alright, what sort of digs we wearing?
We will find out next session
Oh boy.
when we have the ball,
Ah.
and when you get to meet all of Harcourt's
Oh.
family.
Right.
Oh boy.
So we will see you next time for that. Be looking out for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for spending the evening with us, and good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.